All right, we just zoomed right through the 14th. And now today, just this 4 minutes, 5 minutes ago, it turned into July 15th, 2024. And you are watching Tori Magoo 44. And just so you know, I was in Scientology for 30 years. I know that's a long time. For a lot of people, it's hard to imagine how could somebody be in such a knucklehead group for 30 years. And many people have asked me that, and I always ask them, have you ever seen The Truman Show? It's with Jim Carrey. It's kind of a corny movie when you first see it. Hi, SP3 Tattoo Warrior. Good to see you. Hello. Hi, Lauren. These are some of my guys that come. Cats meow. All right. I like it. Born Ancient. I love you guys. I really do. Every time you come, it's like Christmas for me. It's like, oh my God, they're coming. It's really fun. It is. City of Angels. Hi. Dee Dee. Hello. Thank you, Dee Dee. Did you send me the watch? Are you Dee Dee that sent me the watch? Because A Dee Dee did. I think it's you. You have to tell me though if you did. Someone sent me a watch. And I'm not going to take it out all the way, but see? Oh, it is you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really a watch fiend. I am. And I bought a watch like this and then it broke. So then I wanted to get another one that was different than that. So this is different. So that's good. Thank you. I've been busy refing national volleyball. All right. Then got to go to my Tony celebration. Oh, you lucky dog. Oh, that's wonderful. I wish I had been there. It was on your wish list. That's right. It was. And someone else sent me a chair, I think. It's like a big chair. It's tricky, but I haven't been able to take it out yet. I just opened it up and I went, oh, it's the chair. Because the chair that I have is very low to the ground. And it's really hard to get out of for me. So this will really be a big help. And my watch is great. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. Hi, X Blushy 626XX. All righty. Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, all of you guys have been so generous to me. I really appreciate it. Some of them, it's more difficult to say thank you because I don't like Cash App. If people send money there, I thank you. It's tricky because I see who it's from, but I can't say it, and I don't want to say it online. So anyway, thank you to everyone for being so generous. Hi, Cincinnati Diane. It's nice to see you too. Oh, I'm dying to hear about how it went with Tony's celebration. Was it wonderful? Can you tell us some? Tell us something. Tell us your highlight of the day. That's so great. I wish I'd been there. DF Flawless. All right. Hi, Tori. So happy to see you here. Thank you. Thank you. I feel really blessed to see all of you guys. So, tonight, I decided I'm going to just tell you some of my favorite moments from being in Scientology because we always talk about all the bad things because there's a lot of them. Hi, Charles Patrick. But there aren't a lot of people that mention the good things that happen in Scientology. And you know, there have to be some, or people wouldn't stay. So I'm going to mention some of my highlights that I felt in Scientology that kind of really made me happy and made me stay for a long time. I mean, I was there for 30 years, like I said. The lore of swattings. All right. I am good. I don't know if that's who I think it is, but I think it is. Anyway, oh, because of the spelling, I know who it is. Hello, the Lord of Swattings. Good title. You have to learn how to spell my name right. Tory. Okay, so first of all, I got in Scientology in 1969. And someone had given me a Dianetics book. Okay, you don't think it's him. All right, that's fine. Thank you. Never in, always against. I love that, Nick. All right, let's see. It was glorious. Lana, Natalie's sister, did a beautiful hula. Wow. Got to meet probably 35 SPTV cool people. Many, many hugs. Oh, that's wonderful. And 86 GOP. Hi, Tori. I know somebody in Riverside who knows you. They briefly spoke about number two's writings, new doctrine for Scientology. Do you know anything about that? I know a few people in Riverside, but I don't know that I should say their name. But anyway, I'm glad you know him. He was in DOA's live. Oh, okay, good. Hi, 86 GOP. Yeah, welcome. And make sure if you haven't liked, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, which 86 GOP, I think you're new. And I also think what's this other one? This is that you said you don't think it's him. The lore of Swaddings. You've gotta subscribe because that's new. Racetology. All right, that's new too, I think. All right. Anyway, it's good to see all of you guys. So the first thing for me was hi Melissa Montez. That's nice. You guys got to tell me where you're from too, because then I get to know where you your area around. New Zealand, Sophie, there she is, the girl about New Zealand. All right, that's a wonderful place. And Sydney, all right, Verity, thank you. That's cool. Yes, he's an older gentleman. He is the author of a book that you recommended to me in the past. Okay, it's Chi, by the way. Oh, hi, Chi. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I know who you mean. I think we're talking about the same person. Anyway, you met him. That's good. Okay, you're in Minneapolis. All right, that helps. So you got to go to Tony's thing too, I would think. Hey, there's Lovett. Hi, welcome. So tonight, Lovett, and everybody that's here, I'm just going to share some of my favorite moments in Scientology. Because okay, you did not go. All right. Well, we'll get to watch some of it. I think she'll have a video of it. That's my guess. But many people, we all speak about the things that are negative because we don't want people to get roped into it. And there are some really seriously negative, horrible things. Hi, Tori, from a very cold and wet Melbourne, Australia. All right. Cool. That's right. This is your winter, right? So it's our summer, so it's your winter. I remember that. So I would say probably my biggest win or success story or thing that made me happy was the idea that I could become an auditor, which is someone who's like a counselor. And back then, hi, witness, they were, in Dianetics, they very much promote going clear, helping people clear their reactive mind of all their evil, not evil, but bad, painful moments and moments of pain and unconsciousness. So I thought, well, that'd be good. I wanted to be a doctor. And then I realized I'm not going to make it through medical, college, 4 years, medical school, 4 years, internship. My grandfather was a doctor, so I knew it was a long runway. And at first I thought I could do it because I really wanted to. But then, and he used to take me at night to go on he had one of those little black bags. And I said, look, if you have a night thing, wake me up and I want to go. So he'd be like, all right, come on, let's go. We're going. But, he just went house to house and it was like, okay, we'll give you some antibiotics or a shot or, he just talked to them. And I thought, this is what I want to do. This is wonderful. He's just going around helping people. It just seems so great, right? But the training for it was long. Whereas in Dianetics, it was like probably a couple months and then you're a Dianetic auditor. And I thought, well, that'd be good. Believing in clear at the time, which I don't anymore, but at the time I did. So I left college, hitchhiked from Chicago to LA to American St. Hill, because at the back of the Dianetics book, it said St. Hill, England, or American St. Hill, Los Angeles. And I thought, well, I don't have the money to get to London and to England, so looks like I'm going to LA. So I packed my bag and off I went by myself. In 1969. I think I was 22 at the time, or 21, very young. And Sophie, yep, any sunny place would be great. I know. Come on over here, Sophie. Come. So do you guys want to chat for a few minutes? Because that's okay. If you don't want to hear this, I can wait for a little bit and you guys can chat. And if you have questions, you can ask me a question too. Looks like they're busy chatting. That's right. Somebody told me you can do both. That's right. That was super brave, Tori, hitchhiking across the country. Thank you, Witness. It was pretty wild when you think back on it. I don't think I would do it today. I mean, I wouldn't because nobody hitchhikes anymore. You're such a kindred spirit. Greetings from the South Bay. All right. Hi, Daffy Quackers. Oh, that's cute. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And please hit the like button. I am a badass. I agree. That I have been forever. So, okay, so I hitchhiked across the country with the concept of wanting to be an auditor. And I think I told you guys this, but I show up at ASHO and there's all these gigantic pictures of L. Ron Hubbard, all glued all around. And I'm like, this looks like Adolf Hitler. And, I'm not really who deleted Jen Wow's comment. I don't know that. Okay, Jen Wow. I don't know. But do you plan on coming back to Boston, Massachusetts? Are you talking to me? No, I don't. But I would like to, but I don't anytime in the near future. Okay, off topic. Do you think that they're going to close L. Ron Hubbard Way permanently? I don't. No. I think they'll try to, but I don't think they'll let them. I don't. Were your parents upset that you hitchhiked to LA? Oh, yeah, they definitely were. I quit college. That was their big thing. I'd already been to one other college in Newport, Rhode Island. Quit that. Went to New York. Lived in New York. Then I found out about the Summer of Love in '67, I think it was. So we bought a VW bus, drove across the country. I became a hippie. Started doing drugs. So yeah, my parents were very upset with me. It was like, good morning, Tori. Hi, Heart Healer 44. I loved San Francisco. I loved being a hippie. I mean, it was really a fun time. It was a great time to be there. That's sort of like this. I want to tell you about Scientology too, because the early days of Scientology were a lot of fun. And part of it, I remember Drew, my friend that I've protested with, and you've seen him recently, I drove him around and showed him where the old buildings were, where we originally started, right? And we got to 811 Beacon Street, and we stopped the car, and I just burst out crying. And he thought I was laughing, and so he was kind of laughing. And then he looked at me, and he goes, "Are you laughing or crying?" And I couldn't stop crying. I was so sad. And he said, "What's going on?" And I said, "It's just all the people that I know that are gone, that died because of Scientology." You know what I mean? They either took their life or tons of people died while I was in Scientology. And this was while I was newly out. Not newly, it was like 2008, I think, when I went with Drew and drove him around. But that video is on this channel here somewhere where we drive around and do the different, I show them the different buildings. Toritology. Hi, Lily. So anyway, it was a different time in '69. It was fun. We all remember Hubbard was out on the ship. So that's a whole different thing that if you ever want to know about that, Janice Gillum Grady has written, I think, 2 or 3 books about that and really detailed. I mean, her mother started and ran Celebrity Center, Yvonne Gents, and people loved her. It was Yvonne Gillum Gents. And she was, thank you. Detective Aludo about my fresh manicure. Thank you. Um, which place or city do I want to see the most? I don't know. I have to get through this first. Let me just see this. I was just looking through your old videos before I checked for this. I love them. Yeah, I do too. They're kind of fun. It's really a joy that Mark Bunker captured a lot of that. Of course, you're a hippie. You're 77 with purple hair. That's a classic. I have to put that up there. Classic. Thank you, Barb. Thank you for the laugh. That made me laugh. It's very funny. I don't know where I want to visit the most. I love any kind of travel, so anything really. And thank you for each one of you. Now, let's see, Mike, just like the Hare Krishnas, people leaving their families, dropping everything, leaving bands, sports teams, their careers, all to join a cult, hitchhiking across the country. I know it's kind of tragic when you think about it, but it didn't seem like it at the time. I mean, like now looking back, I wish I had stayed in college and become a doctor. It would have been a wonderful, a wonderful thing. But would I have stayed and really made it? I don't think so. So in a way, I don't regret it. I don't believe in regret, number one, because what are you going to do? Whatever happened and you did it. So regretting it is just sort of like wasted energy. That's the way I look at it. But it's true. A lot of people do. And if you're thinking of it, if you're watching this, don't do it. Because these cults are all very insidious in that you get there. Well, like me, let me finish the beginning. I see the Hitler pictures that are L. Ron Hubbard. And I think, okay, I don't like that guy. They're all marching around in Navy uniforms at the time. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. I just spent 2 years fighting the Vietnam War. I really don't want to join a bunch of military people. And they were super organized. And I'm a hippie, so it's like obviously not the queen of organization. So I call my friend and I say, what should I do? And he goes, just go in and ask to talk to John Hildebrand. So I do. I go in and I say, I'd like to speak to John Hildebrand. She goes, you can't. He's on course. He'll call you at 10:35. I say, okay. And my friend had said, look, just if you can't talk to him, go out to this address and this guy will let you stay there. So I hitchhike out to the valley and we get stoned because we're hippies. And we don't think he's going to come. We're like, oh, yeah, right. The guy's going to drive out from Temple Street to come see you at 10:30 at night. No way. He's not even going to call you. So we're stoned and we're laughing and everything. The phone rings at 10:35 and I go like this, it's the guy. I'm like really freaked out. And so I go, hello. So anyway, he says, this is John. I'll be out there in about 10 minutes. So I say, okay. And again, I hang up and we're like, yeah, right. He's going to come all the way out here at 10:35 to see you. So he does. He shows up, gets me. We go back. We go to Henry's liquor store. I mean, we parked next to Henry's liquor store, next to Asho, which was on Temple Street. And he goes, hang on. I'm going to go get a 6-pack of beer. And I think, well, it can't be all bad. He drinks beer. Yeah, I'm not really a big drinker, but it was just sort of a thing where the Scientologist that I could see, the Sea Org looked super robotic. And he drinking beer, I thought, well, that's a good sign. So anyway, he came back and asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, I basically want to. But first he said, what are your considerations? And I said, I don't like those big pictures. The guy looks like Hitler. And he said, yeah, we don't either. And I said, and the Sea Org, they're all marching around in those uniforms. And he said, yeah, that's the Sea Org. That's not us. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an auditor. And he said, all right, well, let's go meet the auditors. And that was it for me. It was like meeting the auditors was such a happy moment for me. It was like I just fell in love. I mean, they were like really smart people and professors and writers and musicians and just all these cool people. And I thought, I love these people. And of course, they're doing the love bombing thing, but I don't know anything about love bombing, which means they just, flirt. Oh, you came to the right place at the right time, and we're so happy you're here. And, you're like, wow, okay, I guess I came to the right place. So I'm all happy with it. And that begins my thing. I do the communication course. I liked that. I thought that was cool. And I did the next course, and then I get onto the Dianetics course. And now I'm getting trained as a counselor, and I'm really happy. I'm like, wow, I'm really going to be able to help people. This is great. I'm really excited about it. Okay, Cincinnati Diane, you have a question. Well, what's your question? We all have learned and continue to learn from her. Okay. Wait a second. Do I have a favorite place that I visited in or out of CM? Both Norway and Ireland are my two favorites. Okay, so Cincinnati Diane, you've got to ask your question. Howdy from Florida. Hi, Doug. Somebody remember what I was talking about. Oh, you're in the Netherlands. That's where my brother is. Also, I'm a night owl, but unfortunately, I have an appointment in 3 hours, so didn't have much sleep. Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe go to bed. Maybe get some sleep. You can always watch this tomorrow. So, what draw you to Scientology of all those opinions in the 60s and 70s of alternative religions? Why that? They gave me the book Dianetics. I mean, maybe if they'd given me some other philosophy thing, I would have been into that. I was already into Buddhism and Taoism on my own, studying that. But Dianetics just seemed like, I don't know, I really liked it. Even though it's a really crazy book and it's awful to read, and I used to teach it and nobody ever got it. It's a really kooky book, but I only read 3 chapters, so that's why it worked for me. So yeah, that's kind of a common thing, witness, that people think they prey on vulnerable people. But I talked to cult experts, and they said actually a lot of people that are in cults are very smart. And the reason they got in the cult is because they wanted to do something more, something better, something bigger. So that was true for me. It was. I wanted to do something. I mean, that's why I was a hippie. All the hippies I knew, we wanted to do something different. So I guess they're vulnerable, but as the cult expert said, anyone can get suckered into a cult if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's it. It doesn't matter. Anybody can. Hi, DT. I hate trying to type on my iPad. Okay, well then don't. Starred await. I don't see any stars. So let me look up here and see if there's a star. Nope, I don't see anything. All right, now I'm going to come back down to where I was. Shoot. Ooh, sorry. Damn. Okay, let's go here. Okay, come on. This thing won't go down. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, SPTV Warrior, you're from Spokane, Washington? Wow, cool. I was there for a while. Okay, and good. Never in, always against. You're from Minneapolis. All right. You did not go. Okay. Hi, Tori. We're very okay. All right. So these things we went through. So let me scroll down. Yeah, it was a different time then. Okay, so just 1 second. Okay. So, yeah, it was a legendary era, Sophie. Sophie, it really was. Of course, you were a hippie. That's a funny comment. Still am. All right. So, where am I? All right. Question. This one lady says she has a question, but she doesn't want to type. So, okay, I can't help you on that. Start away. I don't see anything starred, so I don't know what to do on that. Okay, not only purple hair, 77 years, and a hippie, also pretty and youthful friends. Tori is a bit different than others. Well, thank you for that, Justice. That's nice. Very nice. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, now, okay, now here's talking to a guy with a beer, and what are your considerations? Not liking Elron's picture or Sea Org? Now you have to understand. I wanted to be an auditor. He is an auditor. Dianetics is the bottom of the triangle. He was up here on the briefing course, so he was a very highly trained auditor. He wasn't just a guy with a beard or a beer. He's from my high school. The guy that gave me the Dianetics book was in my high school and gave me my Dianetics book, the Dianetics book. And this guy also was in my high school, and I knew him. So they were nice guys. And so anyway, the beer point was just funny for me because it was sort of like, okay, they can't be all bad. They can't be all robotic if the guy drinks beer. It was just a funny standard for back then. I didn't like Elron's pictures, but you've never seen what I saw. They were gigantic pictures on the wall. I mean, gigantic. They don't have them anymore because enough people didn't like them. And the Sea Org don't look like the Sea Org used to look. They were in military uniforms. So anyway, it was a different time. So good morning from Norway. Hi, Ellen, light worker. All right. Thank you, Nanya. Okay. Okay, then don't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I can't type it for you. You could call me on the phone and tell me, and I could tell them. That's the only thing I could think of. That's the other thing you could do. There are 14 starred. Not sure what's up that you can't see them. I only see one. It says one is starred. Hey, Tori, it's Jurgen from Georgia. Okay, now let me just scroll down here a bit. You mentioned, this is Mike, you mentioned auditing, so they showed you cool auditors to get you excited about being, no, that wasn't it. See, this is why I wanted to talk about this, because people have such fixed ideas of what happens, and it's very different for everybody involved. For me, and this is just me, my story, but it wasn't like they threw out a bunch of cool auditors. These are guys that were there every night. They were on the briefing course. They came out and they hung around and talked to each other because they were having a good time. It was a different time than now. And they weren't throwing out auditors so that they would manipulate me. It just wasn't that way. I remember seeing the guys giving lectures and they seemed so cool. They did. I know Seton Thomas, I used to go watch him on Friday night because he would give these what they call Div 6 lectures, which is just, an introduction to Scientology. But I would go and watch him just because it was so much fun to watch him handle everybody's questions and originations and different things. And, I loved it. He ended up marrying us. He was our minister. Okay, so here's Heather Healer, 44. While you were doing your OT levels, did you believe you could achieve superpowers? I was never into superpowers. It wasn't my thing. So maybe other people did. I wasn't looking for that. My goal was to handle and get rid of epilepsy. That was it. Then I could go back in the Sea Org and help people. That was it. That's all I wanted to do. I wasn't into superpowers. So every time I read them, I think, okay, I don't know what I was doing. Why did I want to be an auditor? I already explained it, because I wanted to help people. What did you think it was doing? I thought it was helping people. I did. And it does when you're in the Truman Show. They are acting like, wow, that was a great session. Thank you. So it isn't like they don't have any wins or help. They do. It's just it isn't lasting, and you're having to pay for it. So those are the reasons I speak out, because you can get all of this stuff for free. And it's not that it doesn't work. Dianetics is sort of like talk therapy. You could sit around with your girlfriend or a friend of yours and just share with them whatever you want to talk out. And eventually you'll feel better. And that's about how Dianetics works. I mean, they have, all right, here's a real Dianetic session. All right. Recall a time when you were in pain. Thank you. Okay. When was it? All right. And where were you? Okay. And tell me what happened. And they go, da, 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 da. A dog came up and bit me. Okay. All right. So you go through it again. And then you go, is it erasing or going more solid? If it's erasing, it's going away. If it's going more solid, you go earlier. So you just go, okay, is there an earlier similar incident? Yeah, another time this dog bit me when I was like 5 years old, and the guy starts crying and everything, and you're like, wow, this is really intense. And, you get him through it, and finally he goes, oh my God, that's why my leg always hurts, because those dogs had bit me in that leg. Thank you so much for this session. And you go, you're welcome. Your needle is floating. That's the end of the session. Now, would you like to go to the examiner? And they send you to the examiner. And at the examiner, you have to say, I had a really great session. Now, that's all changed now. That's a whole different thing. But that's what it was in my day. And that was the end of it. You keep doing that, but anyway. So you felt like you were helping people. Thank you very much, Nanya. Thank you. Chat away. Here's Ginger. All right. I see the one-starred person. In my opinion, I think Tori was intellectually locked in. I'm lucky I don't run into Scientology. TBH. I may have been in as well. Okay. Oh, you might have been in as well. All right. Okay, and Nanya, you have a pure heart going in, and then the cult slowly brainwashed, for lack of a better word. I guess, it was just sort of like, that's why I was saying, I wanted to go over things that were my favorite moments. One of them was becoming an auditor. I loved it because I believed, and I think every auditor thinks you are able to help people. And with the sessions, they are acting like they're better. So you think, wow, this really works. This is a good thing. So that was fun for me. The next thing that was really fun for me, that wasn't fun for me, was Sea Org. I joined the Sea Org, and they routed me out and made me get off my medicine. And that was a whole nightmare in itself. The next really happy thing for me was I married my husband. I met my husband and I married him. And that was wonderful. It was a really very happy time for me. And I was very happy to be married. I got married at Celebrity Center, and it was really fun. And wait, hang on just a second, because they're skipping along. Oh, to be honest, TBH. Okay. To be honest. Okay. Okay. So it was almost like going to a psychologist or a therapist. Yeah, a little bit. I think so. I've never really been to a psychologist or a therapist, so I can't say, but that's my opinion. Watching it from movies and stuff like that, that's what it's like. Thank you very much, Nanya. Okay, so now quack therapy. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. But my purpose is not to just call it names and stuff like that. Tonight, I want to share some of my favorite moments. And, you can say it's quack therapy, and it probably is quack therapy. But it had a feeling like people were getting better. And that made me happy. And so that was one of my favorite moments, was being an auditor, getting married. And then my very favorite moment probably in my life was getting pregnant. I loved being pregnant. I loved everything about it. I didn't really do much Scientology during it at all. And that was kind of cool. does sound okay. It sounds like psychotherapy. Yeah, yeah. I think probably so. Okay, and Hare Krishna is quack yoga. Okay. Um, isn't auditing similar to psychiatry, which CFS is against? That's the ironic thing, is that they are 100% against psychiatry, therapy, anything like that. But actually, at the end of a Dianetic session, you have to do this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's like the end. This was when they just did book one, but that would get you out of it. And people who know hypnotism say that's hypnotic. That's what that is. So they're very hypocritical. That's all I can say, is they are very hypocritical. Just talking aloud about things can help without, yeah, exactly, witness. That's the point. That's exactly my point, is that you don't need to pay for this stuff, because all of it he took from other people and it was free. Okay, this is to be honest. Okay, to be honest. Okay. All right. Let her tell her favorite moments. Thank you. Thank you. All right, this is a thing from Mike. It's sold as therapy, but also Ron took many of his ideas and techniques from the variety of sources, including things that can be used beneficially. Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he took a lot of things, and I learned that because I started reading, going to the library and reading, just cruising around bookstores and reading books, and it was like there's a lot of fabulous books. Okay, so anyway, now I'm going to try the start thing again. Here's one. This is it. It's Tori. That's it. That's the start one. That's it. I don't know what happened to him. Here's one that's live. Anyway, let's go up and see if there's anything else, because I don't see anything. Okay. Okay. I think we did all these. All right, so let's see if you guys have questions. Well, let me think if there's any more freedom. So there's me being an auditor, me getting married, becoming a mother, just a lot of friends that I met. Because that's the other thing. A lot of people stay because they meet people that they really like. And of course, they're quickly cutting off anyone that doesn't believe in Scientology. But you're not really putting that together. That's dwindling your space. It feels like it's very big. Um, Please put questions and comments before comments. Okay, that's good. So much of the sweet old lady, so much for the sweet old lady stereotype. I never said I was a sweet old lady. If you want to think that, that's on you. That's not on me. And I would never try to claim being sweet. I'm a lot of things, but I'm older, but I wouldn't say I'm a sweet old lady. No, not that. Um, okay, so let's see if there's anything else. See if you think any other questions, right? Hey, Tori, it's Jurgen from Georgia. All right. Hi, Jurgen. Good morning from the UK. All right. The mods and friendly chatterers. Leany G. All right. The SP Crusader. Cool. Comment, I'm back, Tori. Ready for some Scientology stories. Okay, good, SP. All right. So I'm trying to think. I was reminding you where you left off. Did you notice a common reason for others who got into Scientology? I know about finding people's ruins, but what are some of their other reasons? Well, if you don't know what she's talking about, finding someone's ruin was the original way how we got people in Scientology. And we literally, this is what we would do. We would go up and say, "Hi, my name's Tori. How you doing today?" "Good. Well, what would you say is ruining your life?" And oddly enough, I mean, to me, it just seemed very odd that people would just walk up and ask someone, what's ruining your life? I said, they're not going to answer that. They said, go ahead and do it. So I went out and did it. And sure enough, people would just start spitting it out. Well, I have a really hard time with my wife, or I have a really hard time with finances, or I have a really hard time with my husband, or I have a really hard time at my job. They were all pretty much communication, relationships, work, money, that kind of thing that people had trouble with. But then back in the old days in 69, 70, we would say, well, you know what? There's a really good chance. Well, originally we would say Scientology can help you with that. Now, because so many people didn't get help with it, this is what I think, they changed it to, well, there's a chance we can help you with that. See? But either way, the point is to get them in the building. Because once they're in the building, now they're in the Scientology Truman Show. They don't see it that way, but I do. And once they're in the building, they can, love bomb them and get other people and get them to the reg and, kind of ruin them on their ruin. You're really having difficulty with communication. We can see it. And they're like, yeah, sort of. And you say, but we have a communication course. You could do it. It'll really fix things. So I really believed in Scientology, and I think most people that get in do. So I call it, this is my analogy now that I'm out. It's sort of like a mind control train where I think I've explained this, but you hop on, you think I'll just do it till the next stop and then I'll get off. So that's everybody's plan. I'm just going to get on, I'll do it, I'll get off. But then you get on and people are like, Tori, what are you thinking of getting off the train? You're not even clear. You said you wanted to be whatever. You need to stay on the train. And you're like, really? And oh, definitely. And if now they know people that you respect and admire, and so then they get those people to come around and go, we heard you were thinking about getting off the train. What's happening? And you're like, I don't know. I just thought I'd get off. No, it gets much better. Oh, believe me, it gets much, much better. And you're like, really? And they're like, oh, yeah. In fact, let's go over to the reg. We'll go with you. And so they come with you and they make sure that you pay for whatever, the next course or the next 5 courses, or, they have little packages and stuff like that. So anyway, it's tricky. So I'm trying to find if there's any other comments. Good evening, Janelle. And Cat was. Hi, Tori. This is a good point, Mike. Almost everyone is sincere when joining a cult. No one thinks this is a bogus cult, I'm going to join it. They don't. They don't see it. It is really, your blinders are on. So it was almost like going to the psychotherapist or a therapist. To me, it felt like it from what I've seen in movies. But again, I don't really know that much about it. Now, let me see. Just talking out loud about things can help without the Scientology. True witness. That's right. All right, here's Tim Greenglass. All right. Oh, this is a to be honest. All right. I'm going to forget that again. So the next time somebody wants to say to be honest, just say honestly, because then that says the word. All these little acronyms, I can't remember them. And then it just wastes time trying to figure out what it is. Just say the word, just say honestly. Let her tell her favorite moments. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so anyway, those are 3 of them. Giving birth was quite an experience. And then being a mother was just incredible. It was my favorite thing. Being pregnant was my favorite thing. Being a mother. Then afterwards, I taught at Marie Bernardini's school, which were little 1.5 to 2.5-year-old kids. And that was an education. And then we found out about the Doman program, a bunch of us mothers. And so we flew to Philadelphia and joined the Institute for the Achievement of Human Potential, which is totally squirrely when you think about it. But we didn't see it that way. It was like this guy knew how to educate kids and how to bring that. He has a book, How to Increase Your Baby's Intelligence, and it was how to bring them up from normal to genius category. So we started doing it. And it was fantastic. It was just fantastic information that it was nothing Scientology had, nothing. And I did it for 5 years. I taught my son at home, and we had a little mothers group, and we would get together once a week, and it was amazing. It was truly a joy. But that wasn't Scientology. That was Doman. But I was in Scientology at the time. Justice. What does Justice say? Do you think if a Scientologist starts Scientology, they already lost their trust in family and or friends because nobody listened to the warnings of Scientology anymore? No, I don't. I don't think so at all. I think it's a matter of Scientologists tricking them, not knowing they're tricking them because they're tricked themselves, but they believe they're going to help them. They get them in, and then the whole thing with your family, like my mom, she was like, what do you mean they want you to get off your medicine for epilepsy? This is going to kill you, Tori. And I'm like, no, Dianetics works. This will fix it. Don't worry about it. It'll fix it. And that was a nightmare. And that was one of my favorite moments was Dr. Dank finally, my mother saying, look, either your doctor calls me today and says you are on your medication today, and I know you're on your medication, or I am personally going to fly from Chicago to LA tonight. And believe me, L. Ron Hubbard and the Church of Scientology will never forget your mother. Now you have to get, so I was back on my medicine, obviously. Her father was a doctor, my grandfather. And I think they were talking together, and he was like, look, you've got to get her back on her medication, because I was having these grand mal seizures. So anyway, that was a big win for me to just have my mother jump in and do that, because at that time we were not that close, but she got it together. You know what I mean? And it's a message to every parent. If your kids are in any kind of weird thing, stay on top of it. I mean it, because if you don't, like my mom said, they could kill you. And they did. They killed another person who had epilepsy. They got him off all his medication and he's dead. So it's like you have to stay on top of it. It really is. Even if, we weren't close, but, bless her heart, she saved my life. Okay, they're 29 starred. Not sure what's going on. Wow. Well, I don't know where they are. I only see, it says starred 1. Okay, all right. Question, Tori, can you tell us about the people who traced where L. Ron Hubbard took all his ideas from? It was one of my friends, and he and his partner spent 10 years tracing every single piece of technology and getting written documentation of where it originated from. And there are some libraries around the world that have all the information that they found. So they're in safekeeping. Let's just say that. Okay, if you asked a question and it wasn't answered, please repost it. Thank you, love it. I think that's what we're going to have to do, because I for some reason, I'm sorry, but I can't see the starred questions. There's a strong connection between L. Ron's tuck and Eastern spirituality. I agree. I think that's true, but I think he stole it from them and then repackaged it and said it was his. Ginger, I'm sorry if my question was off topic. I just thought Tori would have good advice. No, repost your topic, your question. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just repost it, because we're kind of losing some of the questions. So I don't know what happened, but we are. I mean, when family and friends send out warnings, nobody will listen and go on with Scientology till it's too late. Yeah, that does happen. I mean, that does happen. Like my mother used to send these huge envelopes. We would get very thick envelopes, and my husband would just rip it open, and he would just look at it and he'd go like this, "You don't need to read this," and he'd throw it out. And it was all she was trying to send me, written information about how bad Scientology was. But for someone who's in the Truman Show, I didn't need to read it. He was right. It wouldn't have. It wasn't like I was going to go, "Oh, L. Ron Hubbard's a liar," or something like that. I don't know. It's tricky. Maybe I would have, but I don't think so. And I was pretty in the show. I really was. So I appreciated my husband doing that. But you're right. That's what happens. Ellie, never in, always against. I don't know what that's about. I don't see an Ellie here. Love it. Nanya, yes, that was her. She's gone. Okay, good. So she flashed in, flashed out. Thank you, love it, for handling that. Okay, and Sophie, yeah, I recently saw a video showing the similarities, and I had no idea L. Ron incorporated so much Hindu thought into Scientology. Exactly, right? Yeah, and I was into Buddhism and Taoism, so that was part of the attraction. It was like, wow, these guys are cool. Okay, good. So Nanya, thank you. You helped with that, and Sophie, and love it. All right, now. Yeah, it really helps that you guys have our backs for all of us. It really does. It means so much to us. It really does because you guys are sharp, and that's an amazing thing when you have a group of people that are on top of things. Mike, I believe he even said it was Buddhism. Yeah, he did. He said he was Buddha. Not just that. Not I mean Hubbard didn't, but I was at Flag. Oh, this is a funny story. And this was kind of one of my favorite moments because we're at Flag on OT7. And all of a sudden, there's a mandatory meeting. Everybody has to go into the big conference room or whatever, it's a coliseum. So anyway, we go in there. I'm going to have to drink some water. Thank you. We go in there, and all of a sudden, these guys in Buddha outfits come walking up the stage. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, they looked like actors to us. They really did. And they said, well, we have decided, they did all the bowing and everything. They were very, they looked like they played the part well, but none of us bought it. And they said, we've done our research and we realized L. Ron Hubbard is Buddha, which we figured somebody paid these guys a lot of money to say that. And why? Because of TR3. TR3 is you can repeat the auditing question. So let's say you say, I don't like this. And they say, okay. Well, let's say, no. Recall a time you weren't feeling good. And they don't answer. You say, okay, I'm going to repeat the auditing question. Recall a time when you weren't feeling good. No answer. Okay, I'm going to repeat the auditing question. Recall a time you weren't feeling good. And you have to keep saying it in present time over and over until they answer. And that was why they decided L. Ron Hubbard was Buddha, because he came up with TR3, and Buddhism didn't have TR3. It was like, oh, come on. It was so corny. We all left and went, wow, somebody paid those guys some good money. And Miscavige, if you think we bought it, we didn't. But yeah, you're right. So Sophie, yeah, you believe he said it was Buddhism. It wasn't just that he said it was, they said he was Buddha. I've heard they had really great parties. We did. That was the other thing. In the 60s, the end of the 60s and the early 70s, it was a party all the time. Nobody cared. There wasn't any ethics and all this. It's like people had a good time. I mean, we were on course and stuff like that. We were doing our Scientology thing, but it wasn't like it is now. It just wasn't. Believe me, it wasn't. So we had a lot more fun. Okay, Charles Patrick. Okay. Former LA County Sheriff Lee Baca went missing tonight. He has Alzheimer's. I see that he has ties to CFS. Oh no, really? That's not good. He's probably out at Hemet. Okay. Question. Answer if you want only. Did they have silent births when you gave birth? They did, and I had a silent birth. And I'll tell you it. I know everyone who hears silent birth goes, oh, yeah, it sounds awful. But I have epilepsy. And the doctors all said when I got pregnant, okay, you have to get off your medicine. Now, you have to remember, during that time, I had tried to get off my medicine. And, I had multiple grand mal seizures with Scientology when they routed me out of the Sea Org. So I wasn't going to do that. I said, look, me getting off my medicine will kill the child. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to tough it out and hope, just hope and pray that it works. So let me just remember what the question was. Oh yeah, the silent birth. So I'd heard about silent births, and I was a Dianetic auditor, and any kind of noise or sound or anything during a moment of pain is supposed to be it can reenact at any time and affect you. So I was so worried, which it turns out this is not true. You don't inherit epilepsy. It's not a genetic thing. I don't even know how I got it, but I didn't get it till I was 18. But I was really afraid I would give it to my son, and I was pretty sure it was a son. I wanted a son, and I was pretty sure it was a son, and it is. But anyway, I just decided I was going to be as quiet as I could be. Like if I was like a mouse, I was just going to be like a mouse. And no matter how much pain it was, I'm just going to endure it so it isn't passed on to him. So that's how it was. And that's what I did. But anyway, I hope that explains it. It's different, I'm sure, for each person. But did you have? Yeah, I did. Very few people had silent births, but I did. But it was mostly because of epilepsy. Did you think if L. Ron Hubbard ever knew that the internet would come, he'd ever started Scientology? Oh yeah, he was a money monger. He said, if you want to make money, start a religion. 100%. I don't think anyone. I don't think any of you early on, when you were young, could have perceived the internet the same as Hubbard. No, none of us could. Even when the internet came, I remember when it came, and it just seemed sort of hokey. I mean, it was like, okay, but it's nothing like what it is now. Nothing. So I just don't think, no, I don't think it wouldn't have changed what he did, because, yeah, he would have started Scientology because he made a lot of money with it. And he got out before it got really bad. Okay, love it. Sophie, can you see it? All right. I think this is the starred things. Can you see him starred? Love it. Tori, Yosef Trolls have been in here tonight. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Well, I've been trying to just answer each question. I thank you guys for getting rid of the trolls if you are. And I'm sorry that you're having to put up with this, but I'm just answering people that usually we answer. Okay, you're trying to post them, but they're not showing it. Oh, darn. Okay, I was in the show too. Okay, the Hare Krishna show. We say everyone else is sleeping. Right. That's how I felt. I didn't, we didn't say that, but when I woke up, I felt like I'd kind of come out of unconsciousness or something. It was very weird. And this is Sophie. Exactly. Hubbard stole all his ideas. Once people realize this, they see the fraud and the con of them. But it takes a lot to see it. It really does. It's they work on dead agenting that, meaning making it dead, no good. Now they're sending out. Remember, I told you that they have a 25-step program about me, and from that, they took a bunch of lies, copied them, and then they have 3 pages of lies on me on the internet on their thing called Religious Freedom Watch. And today, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but someone called me and said, "Oh my God, they're emailing someone. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to get them in trouble. But they're emailing someone your 25-step program," and they were laughing their ass off. They couldn't believe it. They said, "This is hysterical," because I mean, it is. It started when it first came out. It was in 2000 or early, maybe 2005, something like that. But I had been married 26 years, and then my husband divorced me after I left. And so they're like, she's a she's a runaway bride. And I started typing on the internet, how can I be a runaway bride if I was married for 25 years, 26 years? So they changed it to now I'm a runaway housewife, which this person was pointing out is such a 50s concept. It's like a runaway housewife. It's just very weird. It's very weird. So anyway, one time she said, print it out and read it to you guys. It's kind of weird, and I don't know. It's their shit. But if you want, I can. But she thought it was funny, so I'll have to look at it again and see. Buddha is Krishna. Krishna is God. So they are saying, oh, Hubbard is God. No, they never did. They never did that. They never did make that. Hubbard says there are higher powers, whatever you believe that to be. That's what. That's the only thing he says about God. According to ISKCON. Okay, remember, I don't know what that is, so you'll have to tell me. Mike, your last 2 comments are giving me flashback to the Hare Krishna festivals. Sophie. The chat is not moving. Okay, well, it's moving on my end. Here's Swedish Lena. Oh, crapola. I have missed the whole hour. Hi, everyone. We'll rewind. Okay, I think you're fine because we're kind of screwed up anyway. Okay, here's a Sophie question. Yeah, you guys can look at Sophie, if you and Lovett can see these things that I can't see, you just type them on the bottom. And we'll know that's, you can put their name even. Put the question, okay, and please try to provide context on the topic. Okay. Swedish Lena, love it. My hubby just wouldn't shut up. Okay. Okay. Thank you, love it. Swedish Lena, he has got to stop interrupting Tory time. That's correct. I remember when the first website names popped up at the bottom of ads. Nobody knew what they were. We had to be trained on Google, etc. at work. Yeah, it's true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the old days were just like, what is this stuff? What are we supposed to do with it? Yeah, different. Okay, Lovett asked him if he could wait, and he was rude enough to say, can't you just put me first for one evening? Well, okay. I guess that didn't work out. All right. Okay, love it. Swedish Lena sent you an email. There you go. So you can check that. Okay, here's a fun fact from Sophie. The ISD guru himself, Timothy Leary, was at the forefront of the internet and almost predicted it as a concept. He's where the term web comes in. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Epilepsy can be hereditary. Really? An acquaintance I know passed it along to her 2, 3 children. Wow. I don't know if the mother was born with epilepsy or not. Wow. Well, good to know that. I'm glad I had the silent birth. I really am. I'm glad you told me that, Acer 211, because I never knew that, and no doctors ever told me that. I'm not a troll, just an old chick in Ohio. That's fine, Cincinnati Diane. I didn't think you were. You've been on here for a while. Yeah, no, it's not you. We know you're cool. All right. And Sophie, actually, he said it's the internet, the LSD of the new generation. The LSD of the new generation. Yep. All right. Interesting witness. Okay. And Cincinnati Diane, good, thumbs up. Okay, the next one we don't need to go. That's somebody else. Okay, here it is. This is the official name for Hare Krishna. Oh, I didn't know that. ISKCON? I I I did not know that at all. I've never even heard that. It's one of those kooky nights. You gotta have a kooky night once in a while. Tori, sorry, it's LSD Guru Timothy Leary. No problem. Don't be sorry. LSD Guru Timothy Leary. Okay. And CERN will be interested to know about Leary's accomplishments. Okay. Well, looks like the federal government, and that's the other favorite thing for me was when I started waking up. It was just it was a long process for me, but it was a very favorite time because it was, I was on the internet. This is one that's a really favorite one that I have to share with you guys. Okay, I'm on the internet. I'm too afraid to look on the internet because I just am. I'm too afraid. I explained that my friend, I thought had nearly killed herself and or gone crazy, and it turned out they drugged her and reverse audited her, but I didn't know that. And Bill Yachty, the person who was running me and my best friend and auditor, said, "Oh yeah, she was reading the internet. That's what happened to her. That's why she's all flipped out." And I was like, "Really?" So I'm definitely not going to read the internet. But now I get really, they turn on me, they throw me under the bus. I decide, okay, that's it. I don't want to talk to them. So there's Osa over there. And now it's me and my computer. And I decide, okay, I'm going to go on and just, because I miss the cowboys. That's what I call them, the original critics. And to me, they could say what they wanted. They could talk what they wanted. They could look what they wanted. They could do whatever they wanted. They were like the old cowboys, and it was just, and they were rebels, and I really liked them. So I thought, I just want to be in their presence. I'm not going to read what they say because, God forbid, I'll end up jumping out a window or something like my friend, which turned out, it was because they drugged her and reverse audited her. But anyway, I didn't know that. So now, where was I? I made the mistake of looking at this. I don't look at the comments. No, 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 no. All right, so I'm talking about Nancy, who wrote the book My Billion Year Contract. Just so you know, if you ever want to read her whole story, it's in that book, and it's apparently very detailed. But anyway, I go on the internet, that's right, and I start just typing just crazy stuff. They have a thing called the Wayback Machine, and you can use that. And I was Miss Magoo. Thank you, Barb. I was Miss Magoo 55. So back then. So you can do the Wayback Machine and go Miss Magoo 55 in 2000, and all these old posts will come up, and it's so weird. I mean, I was just so weird because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't read their stuff. So I had this one guy, Phil Scott, who I liked his name. And he said, I'm going to Hawaii. So I said, okay, I'm starting a fundraiser for Phil Scott to get him flippers. So let's get the money together to buy him flippers. And of course, they all think I'm nuts. It's like, well, who is this person, Magoo, right? And I'm typing away like mad all day, all night. I'm posting stuff, just crazy knucklehead stuff. And finally, they declare me an honorary SP3. And I say, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I shut down my computer and I'm going around my house and I'm cleaning and I'm vacuuming and I'm just like, kind of thinking about it. And then all of a sudden I get the concept of SP3, not just SP, but SP3. And it's an honorary SP3. And I think, wow, that's pretty cool. And the whole concept of SP just blew anyway. It was just like, I'm going to accept it. So I turn on my computer because they'd said, you're such a bad Scientologist. We're going to declare you honorary SP3. So I come on and I go, all right, I accept it. I'm honorary SP3. And that's right around when Andreas plugged in with me, because then I started talking with them and answering questions. And they had all those arrows. And I would think, oh, who needs all those arrows? And I'd erase them. And Andreas popped on and said, look, nobody can understand you, Magoo. You're not formatting. And I didn't know what formatting was. So I said, I don't even know what it is. And this is like the darkest, evilest person on the internet. It's Andreas with xenu.net, www.xenu.net. And now I'm talking to him. So he teaches me how to format and it works. And I'm like, oh my God. And so that was another favorite time of mine because it worked. And from then he and I started getting in touch and talking, and he helped me a bunch. And I woke up from that, from talking to Andreas. That really helped. I mean, I had also spent 10 years reading just self-improvement books. I started going to the bookstores and stuff and looking up self-improvement philosophies, other religions, anything medical, just whatever. And I would read these books, and if they were good, I'd buy them. And my husband would say like, oh God, not another one of your books. And I'd say, yep, I got another one. So he knew I was reading stuff, but there was nothing he could do. And it was helping me. Yay, you're an angel. Thank you so much. Oh, for Swedish Lena. She is. Oh, good. All right, good. She's going to reply. All right. So that you'll have your reply when you wake up tomorrow. Good, Swedish Lena. I know, Witness. I loved his site too. It's still a great site, www.xenu.net. Here it is. I actually put it in my banners. Where is it? Here it is. Da-da-da-da! Andreas. It's going to live on forever. That's just the way it is. The AI remake of IT is truly terrifying. Ooh, that's kind of spooky. Yeah, I think that could be scary, but we'll see. Witness, yes, I love how Andreas explained and talked. Really effective at getting people thinking. He really did. I mean, my favorite one was he and Joe Phillips, where, we're protesting and Joel comes out to handle Andreas. And at the end, he shakes his hand. It's like, this is the devil of the internet, but he loved him too at the end. That's just the way he was. 2 years after leaving Hare Krishna, I became a stand-up comedian, but I have never spoken about it until now. Wow. I got inspired. All right, cool. I'm glad to hear that. That's pretty cool. Are you still a stand-up comedian? That's fun. I'm glad. I'm glad you're sharing that with us. Thank you. You should definitely speak about it. Is it like a thing from years past, or is it you're still doing it? Do you live near here? I forget if you live in LA or not. Because if you live in LA, you could come here and do a stand-up comedy act for all the gang. Not a gang. I didn't say that. Erase. Not supposed to say that. It's all stupid to me. But they have their reasons for it, and none of us are a gang. We're all individuals. Born and raised. Okay, yes, I am still a stand-up, but have moved to Thailand. Oh, that's right. You're by my brother. Oh, how fun. He's on Koh Phangan. That's where he is. Born and raised in LA. Okay, you were born and raised in LA. But now he's a stand-up comedian in Thailand. Wow. That's got to be impressive. You got to run into my brother. He's Chicago Dave. That's his nickname, and everywhere around the world. But that's what people know him for, as Chicago. Good morning, beautiful Tori. I'm late, but so happy to catch the live stream. Thank you, Jamie B. I appreciate it. Please make sure you hit the like button, everyone, because that helps us. Hi, Tori. This is Kelly from the southwest suburbs of Chicago. You still have your purple hair. Yep. Well, you're asking me? You can't see me? Or maybe you can't see my purple hair. Yeah, I do. I still have my purple hair. See, here it is. See, this is actually how it's supposed to be. I just always screw it up because I end up eating it because it's so thick. That's how it's supposed to be. He said, I'll just have it kiss your cheeks. That's how it is. I'm sure I have watched your brother in action. I live in Koh Phangan for 2 years. Oh, you lived there? Wow. Well, he was on his way to Vietnam and COVID hit. So, and he was in Thailand. So they said, no, you can't. No other country would take him. None. Look at how much purple there is. Wow. I always forget, because I pin it back. So I forget. Anyway, so he was on his way to Vietnam. Hi, Fluffer Squirrel. You okay? Good you're here. And you hit the like button. All right. Appreciate the Tori and the mods. Thank you. We appreciate you coming by here. All right, good. That's good. I stayed there for 2 years during COVID. Okay, well, that's when he was there. So you probably do know each other because he has a bunch of Israeli friends and they all moved to Koh Phangan during that COVID time. And I think they're still there and he's buddies with them. The mother of his child is Israeli. So that's how he knows all the Israeli people. But anyway, he's really a fun guy. You should definitely. I mean, now he's like 8 weeks. He's on a tour going to the Netherlands and then to, I don't know. I can't remember all the places he's going, but he's going to a whole bunch of different countries and then back to Spain and then back to Thailand. So he'll be back in about 6 weeks. New name, good call. Okay, Kelly, YouTube fan. Love the purple. Thank you. Oh, wait, what is this? The new name, good call? Who has a new name? Jeannie B. Oh, here's a new name. Comment. I'm sure you've watched your brother in action. New name. Now, wait a minute. Isn't that the guy we were... This is Mike, right? Why does it say new name? So, is it Mike that lives in Thailand or is it new name? Yep. Koh Phangan is such a beautiful... Oh, it's nice that you've been there. Oh, how fun. I was listening to your brother's music. I liked it. Okay, cool. He and I really love him. He's really a great guy. Oh, okay. Both New Name and Mike live in Thailand. Wow, that is pretty outrageous. That's really wow. What a small world we live in, isn't it? It's truly amazing. Okay, now there's two stars here, so I'm going to look at these. Okay, one is SPTV Warrior. Hi, Tori. That's from earlier, and this is Heather. So, your own self discovery opened up your world for you. Reading the books, internet was like going to school for you. Kind of. I've always been a reader. My mother was instilled that in all three of us, and we're all to this day really big readers. We love to read, and so I love either reading on the internet. I love reading books. All three of us love books, also. So that was my thing. I went to bookstores because I what it was I had massive migraine headaches, and Scientology wasn't helping at all, and they wouldn't let me off the level, and I was just like, this is insane. I have to stay on this level. I'm 100 pounds overweight. I can't, I'm not getting any help at all. It was really a nightmare for me. So anyway, I finally just started going to the bookstores, and I spent 10 years reading self-improvement books, and that helped me. I think it stripped off a lot of the mind control that people end up with. I wouldn't have been able to talk to Andreas if I hadn't read those 10 books. But those 10 books, or I mean 10 years of books, it really changed me. It did. And it moved me out of being a Scientologist to just being an adventurer, a person. Aw. Okay, so new name, you used to live in Thailand and Mike does now. Okay, cool. Still a small world that you two are here. I love that. And here's Fluffy Squirrel UK. Okay, well, I'm wonderful. You guys are all wonderful. I'm really sorry I can't see these starred things. I don't know what happened on that. It still says, oh, wait, here's one. That's the same one I just read. No, no, no. I don't know. I really don't. Now, it just says the two. That's it. All right. So, if anybody had a question that they wanted to ask and they didn't get it answered, could you retype it at the bottom and then I'll answer it? And this is something from Charles Patrick. Sea Org members who came to the U.S. on the R1 visas between 94 and 2003 were forced to do manual labor such as cleaning buildings and landscaping for 16 hours a day for almost no pay. I think that's kind of the Sea Org all the time. Are you sure it's just those guys on those visas? Because that's kind of how the Sea Org is all the time. Um, okay. So does anybody have any other questions? Thank you, Heart Healer 44. That was a good question. Yeah, it did open me up. It was the beginning of me waking up. Okay, so here's Sophie. Question: did you notice a common reason for others who get into Scientology? I know about finding people's ruins, but what are some other reasons? Well, I mean, a lot of the artists and musicians got into Scientology for that because Yvonne in the old days, I gotta get out of this. Yvonne in the old days was very welcoming. I mean, she always was welcoming, but Celebrity Center was very welcoming until she passed away. And then it just really changed from inclusive to exclusive. It's like, oh, sorry, you're not on a TV show. Almost like you're not welcome here. It was really icky. But Yvonne was wonderful. And so a lot of artists came for that reason. And she would put out, the amazing Jimmy Spirits. And she'd put it on a big canvas. And we were down on A Street. It was in this big divey area. But she just had a way about her. And it was like, come on in. You're going to get to hear Jimmy Spirits. And you can type him in Google. His music is still up. He ended up getting killed, not by Scientology, but in a car accident, or I think a motorcycle accident. But his music is still up, and he has a lot of fans. Tori, while you were doing your OT levels, did you believe you could achieve superpowers? Now, I already answered that, but I never did, and it wasn't my goal. My goal was to get rid of epilepsy, which would have been pretty cool, mainly so I could go back in the Sea Org and help people, which was my original goal. Oh, wait, where is this? Okay, Mike. Almost everyone is sincere. Okay, so these things we've already answered. Hi, Tori. Did you see that Chubb's Champion 16 visited the old Boston org at 4448? I didn't. No, I didn't at all. I'll have to look him up. Chubb's Champion 16. Interesting. Oh, you have to save the questions for the next midnight? Because you guys got to go? We will have to save our questions for the next midnight with Magoo. Oh, I'm sorry. Tori, can you tell us again about the people who traced where L. Ron Hubbard took his ideas from? I can't really tell you more than I've already told you. I don't have more information than that. It's just my friend told me they spent 10 years. They spent 10 years tracing every single piece of technology and finding the source on it. Like, where did it come from? And none of it was L. Ron Hubbard. It was all earlier philosophies, religions, just different things, studies, things like that Hubbard had, or his minions, because he had a lot of people that worked for him, and they somehow found him. Remember, that was part of the favorite moments, because it was like he was on this sort of a adventure to find, to build the road to total freedom, right? So we were kind of on that with him in the early days. It was like, yeah, Hubbard's out on the ship, and I know that didn't work for a lot of us, but he's coming up with the next thing. And, we didn't see it as it just didn't work. It was just like, it just didn't work then, but now he's coming up with the next thing. Anyway, you had to kind of be there. So your own self-discovery opened up your own world for you. Reading the books, internet was like going to school for you. Sort of. I mean, I always have believed in reading and learning and looking and loving. To quote Laura FM, my girlfriend, Doug Kramer has a lot of videos on where Hubbard got his inspirations from. Okay, good. I mean, I think there's much more information out there, but that's good that Doug has it. And that should be on YouTube. So you can type in Doug Kramer plus Hubbard and probably find all kinds of stuff. I was not ever interested in Hubbard, so it wasn't my bag. I books came out about him, and I was just like, no, I don't want to read about it. And to this day, some of them I go, Tori, you've really got to read this book. And I'm just like, I don't want to. It's like I lived it. I don't want to have to reread it. And I know there's more information in it, especially about Hubbard, but I don't know. It's just beyond. What finally helped you with your migraines? Believe it or not, thank you for asking that, because I've told this to everybody before, but for anybody who didn't hear it, I had these massive migraine headaches. I mean, they were so bad that I would come home, put myself in a boiling hot bath, and be boiling to death. And I would come here in the bedroom, put ice around my head, and just fall asleep. And then I would get up, and it felt like a 24-foot truck was driving over my head. So I'd have to do something. And I knew medicine wasn't going to do it because people with migraine headaches had told me, nah, it's not going to do it. So I'd do the boiling ice, and finally it would go away. Finally. So now I'm at Flag, and I kept track of all my headaches. I kept a little log. So now, just one second. I'm just trying to unclick this so it doesn't have to stay there for the whole time. Is that it? Now, how do I hear? There you go. All right. So I'm at Flag, and this lady walks in who we know from being on OT7. We don't really know her well, but we know her, and she's an internal medicine doctor who's on OT7. And she walks in and she just throws this book down. She goes, how many of you have read this? And we're all women. We're all sitting around. And we all go, none of us. And it's a book on, I forgot the name of it. What is it? The Silent Passage. That's it, The Silent Passage. And we all go, I haven't read it. I haven't read it. And and what it was it's a book on menopause. And she said, look, let's look at this. We're all here at Flag. All of us had physical problems of one kind or another. All of us did. And she said, I think men are running the auditing, so they're not thinking about menopause. They're not thinking that way. But we need to. I'm an internal medicine doctor. If you read this book, you're going to see that the things that you are here paying lots of money for, because we had to pay, now we're in review because we're having physical problems. So they're like, oh, okay, the regular auditing isn't working, so now you have to pay review auditing. And it's really expensive. And she said, look, read the book. So now I'm out in the jacuzzi with her, the internal medicine doctor. And I'm like, I have a log of all my headaches for the last 10 years. And she goes, let me look at it. And this is going to sound so stupid, but this is me. There are just certain things I didn't know. And I'm sitting in the jacuzzi. I go out, I go to my room, I get the book, I bring it back to her, I hand it to her, and she goes like this. Oh my God, this is when you were ovulating. And I never put that together in 10 years of massive migraine headaches and pain. I never put it together that it was just it was during the time when I was ovulating. And my thought was, well, I'm still having my period, so it can't be menopause, right? And I was pretty young when it started. So she said, no, you absolutely are in premenopause. You need to go and get on estrogen and progesterone. And that's what handled it. That was the end of my massive migraine headaches. I mean, praise the Lord. I don't know if she'll ever hear this. I've never gotten to thank her for it. I mean, I think I did thank her briefly after, because I was back at Flag for a little bit, and I think I got to thank her, but I'm not sure. But if she ever hears this, thank you so, so much. And it is truly a lesson to everyone that you never know when you can change someone's life. You really don't. I mean, it truly changed my life. All right. Okay, I already did that. I think so. All right, let me see. Let me go down here. Oh. This is Charles. Okay. Oh, yeah. The federal government is now charging R1 visa regulations to allow for SNAP inspections of religious workers' sites. I think they noticed CFS was abusing the program because they get the most R1 visas. Interesting. I don't know anything about that, but very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. I think more and more shit is coming their way. That's just all there is to it. I mean, you can't just be abusive to people for this long, and children and adults. And I mean, I've sat out there for 2 nights, and I was telling Spanky tonight, I cannot believe how old these people look. I mean, I'm 77 years old. I'm not kidding myself. I'm an older person, but I have life in me. Do you know what I mean? These people don't smile. They look like they're drained of any life at all. It's really kind of scary to see them, and they're just kind of like, going across the street. They just look awful. And I thought, God, I can't believe people would stay with this kind of thing. Is seeing that many people. I mean, it isn't like many because there aren't that many people, but figure in a night of 3 hours of being there, I probably counted 10 dead people walking in or out. They look like they're almost dead. And that was it. There's nothing more. There's no other people. There's no younger people. There's nothing. I mean, I'm like, why stay there? I don't get it. Bye, Kelly, YouTube fan. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Swedish Lena said to Charles, that would be amazing if they inspecting flag where they are. They look a lot. They look a lot of them. I think they look like them. Okay, this is a good one. Doug Tramer's channel, for those who haven't watched him. So much great information. Okay. Good morning. And Sophie, this is what? YouTube. Okay, my guess is it's probably Doug. Okay, good. Thank you. Passages by Gail Sheehay. I don't know that. I know Vase. Rest in peace, Doug. Well, good, Janie. I'm glad. I didn't have that in my day, and what worked for me, and I don't have migraines anymore. So we're both good. I use an ice cap that has pressure points in it as well. It works wonders on my migraines. Yeah, I don't have migraines anymore, thank God, because of what I went through. But it it was really interesting to have. I really recommend for any women, if you're under 50, read that book, The Silent Passage. Even if it isn't for you, for your friends. The book is Passages by Gail Sheehy. Okay, that's a different one. This is The Silent Passage. And it may be Gail Sheehy. She may be the same person. But hers is called The Silent Passage. Keith, hey brothers, Keith. Hope that doesn't offend, but my real name, his name is Keith. And what is this? This is No Face. You're kind of now on YouTube. I was asking these guys last night, what is the deal with you guys all calling each other brother? It's like every other word. Okay, brother. All right, brother. It's just funny. It is. All right, wait. Where's where's your thing? There it is. Okay. No. Right there. Now, I agree all the elderly Scientologists I've seen on streams look very unable and not fit. It's really sad. Yeah. I'm not the queen of fitness, but I get around. I do. And these guys were frightening. It was really scary for me. Okay, good. All right, so the elder that we see, they look like husks of the former selves. Yeah, exactly. It's sad. It really is. Spanky couldn't believe it. I said, you have to see it to believe it. And here's YRB comment, the curtains are to hide themselves from themselves. Good one. Question. Did any union try to unionize the Sea Org? No. I used to always say that. We need a union, because it really, that's the truth. I was working at Scientology wise companies, and I used to say, we need a union. We really do. Because, man, we got screwed as people. No, wait, here's Swedish Lena. They really do. Both body and soul are well as the empty eyes. Yeah. Okay. I think what we see with the empty orgs, the closed windows, and aging members, it's the sign of a decrepit organization on its way out. Yeah, it really spooked me out. It was really weird. All right, love it. Have a wonderful. Wait, where'd you go? Have a lovely night or day, all. Thank you for hanging out. Yes. And please, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. And I'm sorry if we didn't get to your questions. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry, love it. And Sophie, I don't know what happened on this end, but you can only do what you can do. So there you go. And I hope you liked my favorite moments. They're not all of them, but it's some of them. And obviously, escaping out was my most favorite because I got free. And it was a surprise, but I did it. Tori has links to her channel for donations and Instagram. That's true. Good night. Good night. Farewell to everyone in the chat. Take care. Thank you, Annie. P.S. The Walking Dead also, their bones have been starved of vitamin D, which leads to osteoporosis. That's very true. That is true. It's tricky. Really tricky. They're not getting any better. Okay, good night, everyone. Lots of love and sleep tight. And have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. I agree. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you for being a moderator. Thank you for love it. Thank you for all of you coming here. Okay, so Keith says he can't find your channel to subscribe. So maybe No Face, you should go to Keith's and subscribe there. Good night, wonderful people from Fluffer Squirrel. This is a late one for you. I've got Tai Chi soon. All right, well, enjoy. Have a wonderful, what is tomorrow? Today is Sunday, so tomorrow's Monday. So have a wonderful week. I love you too. Thank you. I love each of you, and I really appreciate you being here. So, all right. That's it. We're going to say goodnight for now. And I will see you soon.